Well, hi everybody. Dan asked me to pick my favorite song and say a few things about it. Well, there is no such thing for me picking a favorite song. I thought on the way over here is probably like trying to figure out which child I like the best, so that doesn't work. So I'm going to tell you instead a little bit about how my life came about on the piano. I started taking piano lessons when I was about 8 or 9 years old and realized pretty quickly that I liked it. I wasn't good, but I liked it. And usually if you find something that you like, it's something that will end up being something in your life that you enjoy doing. And I worked at it. I mean, I really worked hard at learning how to play the piano because we moved around a lot when I was a child and I had a lot of different teachers. So I can remember when I got the hang a little bit of my notes and so on, my mother put in front of me the Blue Psalter Hymnal. Started out. And another easy one. Which didn't please me, and so I got a little bit better, and I would go. Smile. Well, I don't smile because it's serious business for me. So then I had to develop my own style, and then I learned how to do some of these things. Now when I play. Okay, so I went from just like everybody else, I'm going to be 70 years old this summer, I went from learning how to play hymns to learning how to, it only takes a spark to get a fire going. When the folk hymnal came out when I was a teenager and I got all excited about folk music and that kind of stuff, I had gotten past the Mom, I'm going to be a Chinese composer. I learned all of the black notes. So I went kind of from that to Easter Sunday morning when I was 15 after some years of piano lessons and a lot of work, really. Piano is a lot of work. It's, if you're going to love it and you're going to be good at it, you've got to work hard at it. And on Easter Sunday morning when I was 15, I made profession of faith. And I can remember very clearly the feeling that morning and giving my life to the Lord. And not that I hadn't before, but really giving my life to the Lord and giving my being to the Lord. And what was I going to do? Because back in those days I was very, very shy. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. And I had trouble walking into a room, let alone, play the piano in front of anybody. So I knew that if I was going to do this, I had to have the touch of the Spirit. I needed that. I needed God to empower me to do what He had planned for me if I was going to give my life to the Lord. And so that transpired over a period of time. When John and I were first married, we went to a small church that met in the Packerland Kennel Club in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we'd roll out the rug and roll out the piano and set up the chairs, and I would go with, whatever was on the morning. So I learned to play in this little startup church I learned to play the piano for congregational singing. I had done some of it when I was a teenager and I went to Calvin. I was a music major at Calvin, music education. And things transpired in my life. God brought me into Sunday school playing when I was a teenager, playing in small churches, getting comfortable, learning how to play so that all of you out there could sing with all your heart and praise the Lord the way I felt inside. So I had to make my music match that. And so that's a little bit the story of how I came into playing in the church. It was just one of those things that just happened over a long period of time. The reason I'm saying this to you is because God took a very small gift and a very shy person and turned it into something that he could use. And because I was willing and excited and passionate about it, God did that. There's a song out right now that's called Yet Not I, But Through Christ in Me, and I love it. And because it's so much the story of my life. It is not I, it's Christ in me that makes me and allows me and empowers me to do the things that I love to do. I want to encourage you all that as we listen to Pastor Dan talk a little bit about the church cannot survive without willing hearts that are ready and, again, willing to use their gifts. You have to be willing to take the heat, and believe me, there's heat that comes with it. There really is. There's a lot of disappointments, a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues, a lot of problems, whatever. But ultimately, the church doesn't survive unless we're willing to use our gifts. However small you may think they are, God can use you and he can make them bigger. And he can make the church prosper and be joyful because of that. I can't encourage you enough. If you love the Lord and you have something to give it. Just give it and let God work out the problems, because that's the only way that you're going to really be able to enjoy the things that God has given to you. And there's so much joy in serving the Lord in the church. There is so much joy in being unified, in doing the things that we love to do together. At this time that we're apart, how much more meaningful is the word together? It just is so meaningful right now because we realize how tough it is to be apart. And Jesus wants unity for us. He wants us to be together. We're all different. We all have different gifts. We all have different things to bring to the table. But bring them to the Lord and to his people. I'm going to ask you to sing along with me. One of the things that I do regularly is sit at my own piano at home and play. I play and sing all the time, just for myself and for God. It's a worship time for me. There's no doubt about that. It's a worship time for me. I, like I said, have a hard time picking out a favorite. It's always, everything's my favorite. I just love this and I just love that and I just love this song and I just love that song. But the one that I picked today is a Getty song, and I choose music that I like, not just for the tune, but mostly for the message. They have to be very biblical, very truthful for me to really fall in love with them. So the song that we're going to do today, and you're going to sing with me, is He Will Hold Me Fast. And Pastor Dan's going to put the words on the screen, and then we're going to sing together. And I'm going to sing the same way I would sing at home in my own house all the time, and you're just going to join right along with me and love this song with me.